Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
David sent me notes, and Steve, check out this story. It has to do with the lemon law. Okay? So carscoops.com ran it, and Michael Gauthier wrote it. Rivian offers owners cash to sign away their legal rights. One customer was recently presented an offer of $2,000 after he experienced an air conditioning issue with his Rivian. And this is an interesting situation, but it's quite common. But I'm going to explain to you what it all means. So he points out, the writer of the article, that getting a new vehicle is exciting, but those feelings can quickly change if something goes wrong with that vehicle. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happened to a customer who recently took delivery of a Rivian R1S. In a Reddit post, they explained that they picked up their electric crossover on August 4th, and the air conditioner failed less than 2 weeks later. Even worse, the EV reportedly spent 3 weeks at a service center with almost no communication or transparency. Now, while it sounds like Rivian is taking customer service cues from Jeep, the company eventually sent the owner a goodwill offer after roughly a dozen inquiries, and that was in exchange for signing away their rights to file a lawsuit, they'd get $2,000. $2,000. The Redditor then posted part of the agreement, which reads, in exchange for the cash amount above, you hereby release Rivian and its affiliate entities from all causes of action you may have for breach of warranty, breach of state lemon law, and breach of the federal Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act relating to your Rivian vehicle to date. Now, despite sounding unusual, several commenters chimed in and said they were also presented with the same document and ended up signing it and taking the money. One even said they showed it to a lawyer who told them they were just waiving their previous rights, not their future ones. This seems to make sense as the document says to date, and it also does say that you may have, which implies now as opposed to down the road. In effect, it sounds like Rivian is playing it safe and wants to avoid expensive lawsuits or buybacks. A few $1,000s doesn't get you very far in court, so the cash is presumably a win-win for both sides as long as nothing seriously bad happened. So here is the thing. That's the entire story. That's it. Okay? If you have a defective car, you buy a brand new car or truck, passenger vehicle in any state, 'cause all 50 states have got lemon laws, and the vehicle spends too much time in the shop in the first year you own it, or a certain number of times in the shop within the first year or 2 years, depending on what state you're in, the vehicle can become a lemon where you can ask the manufacturer to buy it back from you. The problem's got to be substantial in nature. Substantial. And each state's going to define substantial a little differently. However, if your vehicle's got air conditioning that does not work, I think most people say that is in fact a substantial defect. You might say, but Steve, this $2,000 thing, how common is that? Well, I often tell clients that they can settle the case right now by agreeing to buy your car back from you. Or they might fight us, take us to court, and we're going to wind up fighting over this for a little while. And by take us to court, meaning that we'll all go to court. We file the lawsuit, they don't. We file it, so we'll actually take them to court. But, minor distinction. But the question is, who does offer the invitation to the dance, right? So, it's not uncommon that during litigation, when you have a case where the car runs, it gets you from point A to point B, and occasionally from point B either back to point A or to point C and thereon. So once in a while, a manufacturer will say, how about this? Instead of buying the car back or trading them into a new one, how do we just cut them a check and give them some cash? We'll give you some cash. Now, I've had clients go, no, Steve, I'm going to plug my ears and go, no, I don't want to hear it. And I always say, get your fingers out of your ears and listen to this for 1 second. Because it depends how much cash they offer you. You see, you have a car right now with bad air conditioning. Let's assume they didn't fix it. You got a car with bad air conditioning. You could take that car right now and sell it to somebody with no AC. Now, they might not want to buy it with no AC, but somebody out there might, right? So the person's going to drive the car and go, the AC doesn't work. And you say, I know, that's the one problem with the vehicle. Low mileage, but no AC. And they might say, well, I'll buy the car from you, but I'm going to pay you less. We call it a diminution in value. It diminishes the value. It lessens the value. It brings the value down. How much does it bring the value down? $1,000? $2,000? $5,000? You see, If you can figure out how much it brings the value down to you and somebody cuts you a check for that amount, this concept makes sense. Now, $2,000 might not do it, but a few $1,000s more might. And so I've had a lot of clients who originally told me I will not settle for anything but a full buyback, 100% full buyback. And I always say, okay, I'm going to try to get that for you. Somewhere down the road, they call me up and they go, we'll give your client $20,000 in cash, and they keep the vehicle. Now, right now, people are going, wait, what? I'm not saying they did it on a Rivian. I'm saying I've had it happen, though. Depends on the car and what's wrong with it, what kind of car it was, how much it cost. So I can think of an example of a car, about a six-figure car, and had several of these cars with the same problem, and it got to the point where I could call up the manufacturer attorney and say, hey, I got another one. They go, does your client want 20 grand? Call up my client and go, hey, I can get you $20,000 right now. We can litigate. I can try to get you more, but the offer on the table right now is $20,000 today. I've had clients go, when can I get my check? And so I jokingly have told people that the check from the manufacturer can turn into what I call a poor man's buyback. Because if they buy the car back from you, you give them the car and they cut you a check. If they cut you a check, but you keep the car, you can sell this car and take the money from the sale and the check, and you're right back where you'd be if they bought the car back, if the check is the correct size. That's the issue. So $2,000 for the AC not working, I wouldn't take it. Because to me, my AC is worth more than that. However, it's unclear here if they said, we cannot fix the AC and we never will. So don't even bring it back under the warranty. I've seen it before where somebody's got a problem, they bring it in and they fix it, and then it goes bad a little while later. They bring it back, they fix it, goes bad a little while later, and it goes back and forth like this. And I've had a client say, you know something, for the inconvenience of bringing it in for them to fix it again, I'd take a couple grand. But that's not necessarily what's happening here. That's the key. Now, getting back to this release that's being signed here, it does say that in exchange for the cash amount above, you hereby release Rivian and its affiliated entities from all causes of action you may have. And again, all causes of action you may have sounds like the present for breach of warranty, breach of state lemon law, breach of Mag Moss relating to Rivian vehicle to date. And understand that to date does mean all your claims up till now. But the only question I have is, if the AC is not working and you waive your claim at this moment in time to get the AC fixed, you're out. So that's the question. But beyond that, let's suppose the engine explodes tomorrow. Covered by warranty? Yes. You're right back, good to go, and you can go ahead after them and say, hey, my engine doesn't work. So if something else major happens with this vehicle, major, like it bricks, okay, you could go after them and say, hey, I didn't waive my right over that. I was simply talking about the AC not working. So the real interesting question here is, and this is the kind of thing I'm curious about, is I understand that a lot of these newfangled electric cars have got all kinds of modern, newish technology in them. Are the AC units in them really different? Or is that just off-the-shelf stuff that they took from regular cars and put it in EVs? Because I don't understand how an AC system in an EV can't be fixed. That seems odd to me. But someone's going to explain it to me, and I'll go, oh, okay, it makes sense. So that's the real question, is what's so special about a Rivian AC system? Or is it going to be the answer? Yeah, it's the AC system in a Rivian. But the $2,000, I also have to point out, is an offer. It's an offer. And as we learned from, I believe it was Clueless, as she was explaining to her daddy about grades, the grade you get in your report card is merely a jumping off point for negotiations. So when they call you and say, we'll offer you $2,000 for your lack of AC, and by the way, just so you know, what I'm about to tell you is the one thing that'll get people sending this video to Rivian. $2,000 is the starting point. They'll pay more. I guarantee you they'll pay more. I assure you they'll pay more. So when they say, we'll give you $2,000 for your AC not working, you go, are you insane? I need $5,000. I need 5. And they'll immediately come back and go, 25. Okay, you just made $500, but hold your horses. Hold your horses. 25? Are you insane? 4. And I won't take a penny less. And they're going to go 35. And now you ask yourself, do you sit there and want to haggle over, dollars? Or do you want to take the 35? But I guarantee you can get more than 2. You can get more than 2. And that, by the way, will depend wildly on what state you're in. States with stronger lemon laws, you'll be able to get more. But $2,000, I assure you $2,000 is what they consider to be nothing more than a goodwill adjustment, meaning that almost anybody can get $2,000 from them by simply complaining about something, okay? So $2,000, starting point for negotiations. Get more, ask for more. I assure you can. But David, thanks for sending that. Michael Gauthier wrote it. Carscoops.com ran it. And again, like I said, I've dealt with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients who've gotten cash offers from manufacturers, and I talked to them and said, if the cash offer is high enough, you might want to consider taking it. And many of them did. Some of them didn't, but many of them did. So there you go. Rivian offers owners cash to sign away their legal rights. Happens all the time, not just with Rivian. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. Don't bite off more than you can view.